It is 15 and a half past 9 o'clock, and Pat Cahill is here from Buffalo Ridge Defense. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Bob. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing better since I got up at 4 this morning and it was 52 degrees.
That's awesome. It's summer.
It
It's
is.
warm. It's here.
Yeah.
I put the snow blower in the boathouse, so that's
Did
put
you?
away.
Wow,
for
that
the
means
summer.
that we can't have any
Yeah,
more.
we
snow.
can't have any more. That's it.
Good luck on that, I think.
Yeah, well,
Who knows?
it's not the 4th of July yet. It is
Yeah.
Wisconsin, but yeah.
I remember snow on a Memorial Day many years ago when I was a kid. Man, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, do they have records that go back that far, Bob? Or-
Probably not.
All right.
If they were, they'd have to be on stone
The
tablets.
stone tablets. Yeah.
All right, Pat, what are we going to get into for Buffalo Ridge Defense?
Well, it's summertime, and a lot of people are traveling, right?
Yep.
It's traveling, it's vacation, go to the cabin, go other places.
Sure.
And when we talk about travel, a lot of people that are firearms owners want to bring those firearms with them when they travel.
I suppose.
Whether that's because they want to shoot trap at a local trap range, they want to shoot rifle, target shoot. It applies to all guns when you're traveling, whether it's handguns, long guns, whatever. There's lots of rules that go with traveling with a
Really?
firearm.
I bet you're going to tell us what they are.
Well, no, that's the sad thing. I can't tell you what the rules are when you travel with a gun because it varies from state to state,
Oh,
from
my
type
word.
of
Of
travel
course
to
it
type
does.
of travel, to are you in your car, are you in your motorhome, are you traveling on your motorcycle, are you walking a hiking trail, are you riding your bicycle, are you taking a ferry, are you flying an airline, are you taking the train? See, the misconception is that if I own a gun and I can obey the laws here in my own state or wherever I live, then I can
I'm
go
okay.
anywhere.
Sure.
I'm okay. That's just not the case. And you have to do your due diligence and research.
Find out what they are in whatever state you're going to.
It's not only whatever state you're going to, it's whatever state you're traveling through also.
Oh.
So if you're driving,
And
you're
whatever
taking
state you
your car.
intend to go to in that state.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's
Are
look
they all different, even the state and the cities?
state to state. Typically not cities within states.
Okay.
Typically the state supremacy laws take over and then the federal government supremacy laws take over. But let's just use our two bordering states, Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So recently, Minnesota laws have changed as of last week, actually,
Wow.
2 weeks ago, that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that they're restricting 18, 19, and 20-year-olds from having concealed carry permits and carrying firearms was unconstitutional. That people become adults at 18, it comes with adult responsibilities, but you can't be an adult on one hand and not be an adult on the other hand, and back and forth. So that the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the Minnesota law that said you had to be at least 21 in order to have not possess a firearm. You had to be at least 21 to get a concealed carry permit.
Gotcha.
You could possess a firearm at 18. You could possess a handgun, a rifle, anything else at 18, but to get a concealed carry permit, you had to be 21. So that was struck down. So now you can, if you're 18 or older, you can get a concealed carry permit in Minnesota. So you have your gun, you have a concealed carry permit, and you want to come to Wisconsin, right? Because your cabin's up here in Wisconsin.
Sure.
And you're completely legal over there. As soon as you cross the bridge and you're under the age of 21, see, Wisconsin recognizes Minnesota's concealed carry permit.
Okay.
However, they don't recognize it unless you're 21.
Ah!
So while you can legally carry in Minnesota, you can't. Now, to make it even more complicated, because of the law changes, and you see where this gets so convoluted, that's why I say, can I tell you? I can't tell you. You have to do that research. If you're a Wisconsin resident with a Wisconsin concealed carry permit, and you want to travel to Minnesota, you would have to stop at the border and uncase and unload and case your firearm before you could travel into Minnesota, because Minnesota doesn't recognize Wisconsin's permit to carry. So, again, do your research. Wisconsin doesn't have a case law. You can carry your shotguns, rifles, and handguns in your car not cased. But when you get to the border for Minnesota, they require a case. So if you don't have it, you'd have to have it. And so it gets more complicated. Now, what's even stranger is an 18-year-old, 18, 19, or 20-year-old Wisconsin resident can go to Minnesota and get a Minnesota concealed carry permit. And then they can carry in all the states that recognize Minnesota's concealed carry permit.
Okay.
Except Wisconsin. All right? Because Wisconsin says you have to be 21.
Oh, gee.
So all these different jurisdictions come into play. So when you say, well, how do you safely travel, or how can you travel when you travel with a firearm? Well, you have to come up with some different things. How am I getting there? Am I going by car? Am I going by airplane? Do I have to be on a ferry? Am I taking a ferry across the water? Am I going by train? Am I taking an Amtrak or a train somewhere? There's different rules apply to every one of these different modes of transportation. Whether in it not just to handguns and concealed weapons. It applies to all firearms.
Sure.
Right? And so, yeah, I don't want to make this just a concealed carry thing, because that's just
part
every
of it.
state is different. That's just
Yeah.
part of it, right? But all firearms. There's a lot of recreational shooting sports that are out there. And if you want to travel to do your shooting or hunting, we're not even talking international here. We're just talking between the states, right? If you were driving, you left Wisconsin and you're a big hunter, and you take your hunting ammunition because you're going to target practice out at the range in New Jersey.
Okay.
Well, hollow points are illegal in New Jersey, but hollow points are common everywhere else.
Yeah.
You have a 15 or 20 or 30 round magazine. Well, that's legal where we live in the Midwest, but it's a felony in California and other places. So you just need to know the different laws and where you're at. But here's some mistakes. Why don't we just say the 4 biggest mistakes people make when they travel?
Okay.
Right? Mistake number 1, they assume their permit is recognized by all 49 other states.
And it isn't.
No, their purchase permits, their concealed carry permits, their hunter safety permits, they assume all states accept all of them, and they don't. Every state is unique, so you have to research that law first. Don't assume and you can do something super innocent. You can say, well, I've always got my shotgun in the back of the car because I like to trap shoot, and you drive over to Minnesota and they say open your trunk, and for some reason someone looks in your trunk, and that's a whole other thing in Minnesota, but I'm not going to go there. But and innocently you open your trunk and someone sees your uncaged firearm. Okay, that's an uncaged firearm in Minnesota.
It's a violation.
Violation, right? Number 2 is assuming your handgun is legal through all the states. I'm assuming your gun is legal through all the states, right?
Okay.
Some handguns are with different capacities are legal in one state, they're not legal in the other. Some semi-automatic guns you would think would be a rifle. Forget the handguns, just take a rifle, a semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah.
That's legal in most states, we would all think, right?
You would hope.
Yeah, it's not. Colorado of all states just passed a law, or in the process of passing a law, to make all semi-automatics with detachable magazines illegal.
Oh,
all right, so you might think I'm good here, but I'm not. You get to California because you're going to be in a shooting competition out there, and the magazine that you have for your 3-gun, which is handgun, rifle, and shotgun, typically AR-15s for the rifle, have 30-round plus magazines.
Yeah.
Well, they're only allowed 10 out there. So now all of a sudden you're breaking the law. So don't assume your gun or your handgun is legal in all the states you're going through. Do your research first. And you may have to choose, if you choose to carry a weapon with you for self-defense, you may have to choose to carry one that's appropriate. Might be a revolver instead of a semi-automatic. It depends on where you're going, right?
Is it correct to say that every state is different and every community is different?
State laws are different. Typically, communities don't make laws.
By the state as
They can't make laws that are tougher than the states. I mean,
Gotcha.
so example, they can't make laws in Wisconsin if you want to carry a firearm in a state park or a city park or somewhere. You can do that legally, right? The city can't make an ordinance saying you can't, right? Because
Okay.
state law supersedes
Gotcha.
where you can.
Gotcha. But not all the states are the same. Certainly not.
No, there could be a state out there that makes a law that says you can't carry a firearm on Tuesdays on 3rd Street or something. Who knows? I mean, there's city ordinances. They can make.
Truth is, the laws are not standard by any stretch of the imagination.
Well,
no matter where you go.
There's a reason lawyers drive nice cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can do everything right and still be charged with a crime or charged with something. Right?
I'm sure you can. And
so
there's some attorney somewhere who's going to.
And you're going to have to get the legal help to get out of that.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. I want everyone to have a safe summer. And I mean, there's all kinds of other things when you're carrying a gun in the car, and that has to do with safety. The glove compartment is easy access if you have grandkids or kids in the car or somewhere else. The number one place firearms are stolen are from vehicles, right?
Really?
People leave some people around this area, they're called truck guns, but they leave a gun inside their car for self-defense, but then they don't always lock their car, right?
And wonder why they lose it.
And they'll be like, how did they find it in my glove box? Well, that's the first place someone's going to look for something valuable.
Where else would you look?
Center console.
If it wasn't hanging in a rack in the back window, it'll be in the glove box.
So, I mean, we want everyone to be safe, but I want everyone to stay legally safe, not just physically safe, stay legally safe. And it really means you have to do diligence. You have to research the laws for the states, not only the state you live in, the ones you're passing through, and where your destination is, and your mode of travel. So.
Wow. Okay, I'll ask the obvious question. What's the easiest way to, let's say that I live in Wisconsin and I want to take a drive to Arizona.
So the easiest way, the way that's 100% safe, right, or should be, is if the gun is unloaded in a case in the trunk of your car, not accessible to the passengers, right, of the car.
No matter where I am.
As long as the gun itself is legal in those states, yes. All right? I mean, it's not a gun that's been like Colorado, that's a semi-automatic with a detachable magazine, or California, over 10-round magazine, right?
Yeah.
So if it's completely unloaded, it's in a case, and it's not accessible to you, or the passengers in the trunk, that's typically, you'll have safe travel through most states to get to where you're going to where you're not going.
Okay.
But if you're carrying it for self-defense, you might have to consider other self-defense options. You might consider a Byrna launcher, which is looks like a big paintball gun that shoots tear gas. They're legal in all 50 states. They're called launchers because they're not firearms. They're launch that projectile out with an air CO2 canister.
Sure.
And they're very effective, and a lot of people like those. So be smart about it. I mean, that's the bottom line. The biggest overall rule is if the gun is unloaded, cased, and not accessible, so it's in the glove box or somewhere not accessible to the people in the passenger compartment, then it would be considered safe if you're driving, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Flying has a whole bunch of other rules.
I'm sure it does. First, you got to get on the plane.
Well, you have to get there. But it's easy to fly with a firearm and travel a lot in competitions and things that I do. And it's easy to fly with a firearm. You just have to know the rules and follow them.
Well, it's almost that with almost anything, isn't it? If you know the rules, you're okay. Hopefully.
You can do everything. You can do everything right and still be charged with something, right? If there's a reason not to. And the other thing, that safe passage law I'm talking about, cased, unloaded, not in there, everyone assumes that means I'm 100% safe, right? Well, unless they're committing some other crime and that gun is in there, or they find something else, if they have controlled substance, marijuana or something in their car that might be legal in that state, but then you drive into a state that it's not legal in, then you compound it with the fact there's firearms in the vehicle when they search it. All right, so it all boils down to choices and responsibilities, and do your research ahead, and then be safe. You know, some young kids just ask me, what's the biggest advice you can give us to stay safe? And you're talking about preparedness and concealed carry and self-defense. What's the best advice you can give me? I said, well, don't do stupid things with stupid people in stupid places. I mean,
that's pretty much it.
That pretty much.
Business card.
I should have a business card that says that. Yeah.
Pat, thanks for coming over.
Yeah. So anyway, and by the way, I want to mention we have a couple of free classes that'll be coming up here in Amory. One on building a personal and self-defense, home defense and personal defense plan. It'll be at the Senior Center in Amory. That's the 18th of June, so it's quite a ways off yet.
Yeah.
But that'll be coming up free to the public. Free to the public. We typically have 100 plus people there, so it's going to be a first come first serve that are there, and we'll make them fit. Everyone's welcome, and we have a lot of concealed carry classes that are coming up. We have one this weekend at the Osceola Rod and Gun Club. We have them in Eau Claire. We have them in Superior, and we have a lot of private classes. So if they want a class, just reach out and call me, 715-491-6952.
You have a website, I think.
We do. It's BuffaloRidgeDefense.com.
I kind of thought it might be.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Pat.
All right.
Pat Cahill, Buffalo Ridge Defense, our guest this morning.